James Lynch here for Inside Fighting. So happy to catch up with my next guest because we didn't get to hear from him after his last fight at UFC Seattle, of course, taking on Michael Chiesa on short notice, and he is now retired from the sport. It is Niko Price, the hybrid, here on the program. Niko, how you doing?
Good, man. How y'all doing?
I'm doing well. So I think a lot of us, obviously saw the fight on Saturday, and we found out sort of leading into the fight that you were retiring, and we didn't get to hear from you at all. So I definitely wanted to make a point of getting in touch with you. So I appreciate you, answering my call and doing this interview. But I want to go first to just getting the Chiesa fight. Obviously, he had an original opponent in Harris. You step up and take the fight. How quickly did that come together? When did you find out about the fight with Chiesa?
I want to say it was mentioned probably 10 days before the fight.
Okay, gotcha.
Would this be a possibility? And I said, I got to talk with my team, because at first I was like, no. But then me and my wife, we started talking, and we really started talking. I was like, I'm getting old, man, and everything hurts. I want to spend time with my kids and stop being so selfish and spending so much time on myself, so I just needed to, she goes, I don't really want you to do it anymore. And it's getting really hard on my daughters. So, it's hard on me too, man. Losing,
Sure.
even if it's on 7-day notice, it's still losing. It sucks. But, part of this sport is the hurt sport. You better be calloused everywhere. You gotta be tough everywhere, because if you're not, even when you lose, because that's when you need to be the toughest. Honestly, it sucks.
As far as your contract goes, did you have a couple fights left? I guess some of us were a bit surprised that you got the call, because I know you were on a bit of a losing streak, right?
Oh yeah. I lost my last 4 fights. But it's not. It doesn't define you. No matter if I lose 6 in a row, on that 7th fight, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna tune in, and you know why? It's just because I'm a fan-friendly, fan-favorite guy. I don't hate no one. I don't judge no one. When I get in there, I don't hate you, but I'm going to fight you like I hate you. I'm going to try to hurt you. I'm going to try to finish the fight. But at the end, it's still yo, what's up, man? Even after Chiesa. I talked to Mike in the back. We were all cool and everything. Even though I had to stand in there and watch this whole thing, and they're like, yeah, you're going to get Mike time. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then I'm like, why am I not getting my time? And then I wasn't. Then I was like, all right, whatever, don't worry. I was like, but can I leave? I don't want to stay in here no more. And then I told my coach, because they didn't even send off me at all. They went to my gloves and then took a picture of him with my gloves. And I was like, no, I wanted to have a picture with my gloves. Why do you have he has the gloves on in the picture. So it's
yeah, it's sort of weird the way it worked it out. No, I brought up the losing streak because I think some of us thought maybe you were going to get released after your last fight. Obviously, with your style, you get a bit more wiggle room than some of these other fighters that maybe aren't as exciting. So I guess after the loss to Nikolai, you weren't really worried about getting released. You thought you'd get to fight out your whole contract.
I figured I would get my contract. That's the least I could do. Nikolai was on 7-day notice too. So and then Jacoby was on 10-day notice.
Yeah.
The fight before that was, I don't even know who was. Oh, that was Thimba, and that was on
that's right.
3 week, another 3 weeker or 4 weeks.
Well, I think most of your fights have been short notice. They haven't given you a lot of a heads up, right?
Probably 90% of them. But that I don't care about, because the fights come in when I needed them to. God provided them when it was time to be provided. I need providing. So I was happy with it. I have no complaints, but I do wish I could have had just 1 second to say thank you guys.
Well, that's why, here I want to give you the platform and the opportunity. Just sort of last question I had sort of going into the fight. You fought in February, and I know you got knocked out in that fight. Were you surprised they did call you, just because, again, that fight was pretty close to this one? I know Chiesa doesn't have any knockout wins in his career, but I know some people were, a bit, I guess, concerned because you had fought in February and you were finished in that fight.
Not against Michael, no offense. I wasn't.
Well, Michael doesn't have any knockout wins, so yeah, I don't think anyone was worried about that.
It was set up perfect. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't have it. I planned on him grappling with me anyway. I knew if it was staying on his feet, it's because he couldn't take me down. Shelby knew what he was doing. We all knew what we were doing.
Yeah. No,
I
fair
took
enough.
the risk, but the thing was is as I was retiring, I'm like my wife and stuff. She's like, you don't know if you're gonna get another contract in general, and I was like, yeah, it's true. Um, we never talked about getting another contract,
Mhm.
but I mean, it doesn't matter anyway because you already know if Mama says no, no.
Yeah, happy wife, happy life, right? As they say. So that's good
Right
on you
there,
for
man.
prioritizing the family
Oh,
and all that
Papa.
too. And then you were telling me that, like, as far as your decision to retire, this was actually like the day before. Like, you didn't. It's sort of you mentioned you had mentioned to Sean Shelby that this was going to be your last fight. You didn't really announce it, right? Is that my understanding?
Not at all. We didn't announce it to many people at all. Um, the ones who knew were my true UFC companions, like all the blue shirts that that are backstage, the ones that get us food, the ones that take care of us, like Dean, the Heidis, Novies, all of them, Rogers, all those guys. Like I just wanted to be able to say thank you to all those dudes because they made my career awesome, man. I had good friends and a good business, and you have to beat people up. What's better than that? Like
Yeah,
18 years of my life was literally fighting people.
I
So
know.
I'm like, yeah.
And some fighters don't even get past their first contract. Like, I think you got to give yourself props that you went in there and you fought some tough guys, Niko. Like you mentioned, short notice fights. Dangerous opponents. You've been in there with some of the best. You took all the risks that some fighters wouldn't take.
I was undefeated. I was a champion in other organization. So like, I mean, I got to live the best of all the highlights. I didn't make millions and millions of dollars, but I was comfortable. I got to provide for my family, and I have enough money to jump into a new avenue after this, which is cool. And I can still speak. I can still think. I have great thought process. I'm not, yeah, I'm so happy that because like growing up, no one knows like not a lot of people know my beginning of my story because when I was 3, I got kicked in the head by a horse. So like I wasn't even supposed to be doing no head trauma stuff. I played football from 9 to 18, and then I went from football to rugby, then rugby to fighting, and then I'm just blessed to be able to say it out loud and coherently that I fought and did contact sports, and I can speak straight still. And I remember
Yeah.
what I did this morning.
Yes,
So,
which is good, which is important. Again, you got to think long term with the health and the family. So I'm sure you've had a chance now since the fight's over to kind of look back on your career. What was the best moment in your career, or maybe most memorable moment for you, kind of looking back at everything?
so like I got to do a lot of the reminiscing I did right in the cage before the fight. Like as they were playing his video and all that stuff, and I got to walk around in the cage and wait for him to get in there. Normally you're like anxious and you're just like, come on, get in here. Like, get in here already. Come on, I want to beat you up. This time I was like, well, man, I did this for 9 years of my life. This is awesome. Like
Hmm.
I'm blessed. I had 9 years of MMA at the highest level, 21 fights, awesome family, 7 kids, the best wife I could ever pray for, like. And then my fans, dude, my fans are always awesome. They're always yelling hybrid. They're always supporting me. Like, they send great messages. Not everyone is happy with what happened. There's a lot more people that aren't happy, I feel, than they're like, they feel like I did wrong. But, I mean, I can't do nothing about it. And I officially don't really care. I'm retired.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. But kind of looking back now, doesn't part of you wish when you accepted the fight that maybe you would have, told everyone you were going to retire, then maybe they would have had time to do the mic thing? Because, I wonder too if it was a logistics thing where maybe because you told them so late that they didn't have time to like organize it with the event. I don't know. That was just maybe a thought that went through my mind.
Before the fight was even announced, like before Shelby messaged me, before I got messaged about this, before Chiesa was part of this, me and my wife were already talking about what's the next avenue, where are we going next, what are we doing next, because like I love this career, and I say this to all the like young fighters coming up or about to be into it. This is a selfish career, even if you have kids.
Yeah.
Like there's times that my kids want to go play catch. I can't play catch. I gotta go sleep for 30 minutes before I gotta leave to the gym.
Mhm.
So like I'm already taking advantage of the retirement thing because I'm gonna call in sick today. I ain't going in today. I'm gonna hang out with my kids. Maybe we'll go buy some ice cream or some cool stuff. And
Kind of mentioned too, kind of looking back in your career, some of the wins that I remember, you beat Brandon Thatch. I remember that was a big win back then. Brandon was yeah, that was the beginning. But Brandon was a big deal for newer fans who don't know. Brandon was sort of thought as this really, big time prospect. You went in there and beat him. I remember the win over Alan Joe. Alan Joban was a good win. Randy Brown. You had some really good wins in your career. Any of those?
Joban was a freak too, man. That dude. Yeah. At the time I fought him, he was very elite. Like he was at the top of his game. I mean, I feel the setting of the fight, like where the fight was, definitely played in my favor at the Mexico City in altitude, because I went there 3 weeks early, and he didn't that one. So I just feel like that was the only thing he did wrong. I mean, the dude came in, looked like a freaking monster. I was like, but I saw him going up the stairs, and the stairs don't lie. So when you're walking upstairs and you get out of breath at 7,300 feet, I was like, oh, I got this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was good. Randy Brown. Dude, even James Vick. Before James Vick got on his little loss streak, he was top 10 or middleweight or lightweight. And that's crazy that he was lightweight. I had to look up to him at weigh-ins.
Yeah, he was a pretty tall guy. Really weird build for the division. Is there anyone you wish you would have fought that you didn't get to fight in your career?
Me and Bilal were supposed to fight in New York in 2019, I think.
2018, yeah, I'm looking at it here.
2018, yeah. I would love to just, experience another champion. But besides, I don't know. Honestly, even, dude, I'm just so, like, I'm blessed. I'm happy. I have nothing. I'm not complaining about anything. Like I said, I'm just happy.
Yeah, for sure. No, we're just reminiscing here. It's always good to kind of look back and celebrate what you've achieved, right? Again, I talked about it there. You've had a really long career. A lot of fighters never got to do that. So I think the question people want to know, what do you got planned for retirement? What's on the agenda going forward?
Well, we already have the bait mobile, so I'm going to put a lot of time into that. We'll be doing it's a mobile bait. So if you're going fishing in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Naples, call us up. We'll bring you some shiners. Yeah, we're pushing that. I got a couple other things I'm jumping into with my cousins. They own a couple businesses. I'm going to jump into them with them and do some things. And then, I don't know, I'm definitely going to be coaching, choking people, and teaching the stuff I've done.
Awesome.
So seminars, anyone wants some seminars, hit me up.
So just to clarify, because, we hear about retirements in MMA. So you're obviously retired from the UFC. If like bare knuckle or dirty boxing or any of them calls, is that a call you're going to answer, or are you fully retired here?
I mean, I'm old. It's going to take a lot to make me do anything. It's going to take a lot to convince my wife to let me do something. You know what I'm saying? It's not me. I took it.
That didn't sound like a no. So again, if the price is right, maybe. But like you were saying, like, again, you got to think of family first.
Yeah, no, it's up to my wife.
Okay. Couple more quick questions before we get out of here. Your walkout song, was that your decision to come out to? Because it actually confused me when you came out to "I'm Coming Home." I thought it was Chiesa coming out because he's from the area. What brought you to that decision? It was just like, this is my last time coming out.
Yeah, when my first 10 amateur and 12 professional fights, I walked out to that song. That was like my jam. It brought me to my why. Like, I want to go home after this because I just want to go home. So it doesn't matter what's in my way. I'm coming at you full force and I'm getting home.
Awesome. Niko, I'm not going to keep you any longer, but I do want to give you the opportunity here as we end the interview. If there's anything you want to say to the fans, anyone watching this, because you got a lot of fans, man. And again, congratulations on a long career. That's got to be celebrated. Like I said, there's guys that have, 2 or 3 UFC fights. They're out. They never come back. You've been in the UFC since, when am I looking here? You got in the UFC in 2016, over a decade. I mean, that's pretty impressive, Niko. So I'll give you the floor here if you got anything you want to mention before we get out of here.
No, I'm thankful for God, man. God made all this possible. He gave me the vision. I never been in a street fight, and then I ended up having a career as a fighter. I don't know how that happens. The only thing I did in my life is follow God and do what he told me to. He brought me to my wife. He brought me to fighting, and he brought me to retirement. I'm blessed. I've lived 7 lives in one. So
yeah.
I thank everyone from the first coach to the current coaches. I can't even name all of them because I've had so many throughout life. I'm not saying just like my coaches in MMA. I'm saying like my coaches in Pop Warner football, dude. I remember things they told me to do, and I've used it and applied it at the highest level. So I mean, I'm completely blessed with all of the 239 in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and my whole family. And Jesus, just thank you for everything. So it's all glory to God as always. And thank you, man, for letting me say all this to everybody. It was awesome, man.
Happy to do it, man. We've been doing interviews, I don't know how long. It's been a long time. So always, I got to thank you for making time, man. I think it's only fitting we got to do this at the end. And, again, I appreciate it. And we'll be keeping tabs, man. I hope everything works out in retirement for you.
Heck yeah, brother. And I look forward to all your future interviews and everything you do with everyone else and seeing you on the big screen more and more, brother.
I appreciate that. Thank you, man.